I'd like to bring this meeting of the Union Bay Improvement District Board to order. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The first thing you'll notice is that we're trying out a new arrangement with the tables and chairs here to ensure that there's better eye contact between the trustees and the chair, and also it makes things a lot easier when it comes to calling for a vote on something, and if someone wants to express themselves, it's a lot easier for this kind of exchange. So, pardon me. Thank you, Trustee Lawson. I trust that the emergency wasn't too severe?
Right here.
Okay.
And the power's still on.
And the power's still on. Okay. All right. The first order of business, I think, is to introduce our new permanent administrator. His name is Mr. Gordon Mason, and he lives here in Union Bay. Gord comes to us with a wealth of experience. He's a long-term Union Bay resident and has excellent qualifications. He has spent 25 years of utility experience working with both Fortis BC and TELUS Inc., where he gained experience working with boards, First Nations, and local government. Gord is really looking forward to working, living, and making a positive difference in the community he calls home, Union Bay, BC. So would you please stand up, Gord, and welcome aboard.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm looking forward to the opportunity. I mean, I've lived here for 25 years, and I thought about retiring for a while, but now I'm back in the workforce, and yeah, and like Peter said, I want to make a positive difference here, and I've kind of watched what's been going on from a distance. In my past employment, I traveled a lot. I was back and forth to Vancouver, and it's great to be home and great to be back in the community. So look forward to seeing you all and work with you all in the future. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Bart. I should also mention that Mr. G, our other administrator, his term will expire around the end of June. And I'd like to thank Martin. He's provided us with invaluable assistance and given us guidance during a very difficult period of transition. Heartfelt thanks to you, Martin, from the board. Okay, we'll move on to the next order of business, which is the adoption of the agenda. So could I have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda. I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda to include under new business a discussion on audio-video recording.
Okay, do I have a seconder for that? Okay, seconded by Trustee Loxam. It's open for discussion. Trustee Bitton, since this is your motion, you get to go first.
We received several emails from ratepayers concerned about the use of some of the audio-video recording that's taking place, so we need to discuss it under new business.
Trustee Kelger, would you care to weigh in on this?
I think we're just adding it to the agenda.
Yeah, we're just adding it. No discussion now.
When we get to the, could somebody confirm
If
that?
everybody's okay with that, that's fine. Normally when there is a motion made, however, though, we usually have to take a vote. That's my understanding of it. But
I'll
if-
take a vote after too.
Okay, well, let's take a vote on it, and then, as far as I know, that's how it should proceed. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I don't think it requires a lot of discussion, so why don't we just vote on it? Everybody okay with that?
What are we voting on?
On adding,
Amending the agenda.
yeah, adding to the agenda. Okay. All in favor of adding Trustee Bitten's motion to the agenda, raise your hand. Okay.
I have my hand.
Okay. Okay, the motion's carried and we'll add it to the agenda. Under new business.
I also want to.
We're getting, so to get back to the adoption of the agenda, then,
No, I'm actually wanting to add something to the agenda, not my motion, but,
okay,
Also.
yeah,
also,
I mean,
okay.
in addition to the agenda.
All right, Trustee Callender has a motion to add to the agenda.
I'm just making a motion to add a piece to correspondence, item 8.
Yeah, what would you like to add? Trustee
Well,
Callender?
I'll talk about it when I get to correspondence. It's just a general statement to correspond, under correspondence.
Okay, we have a motion that Trustee Callender wishes to add a general statement to the correspondence part of the agenda. Do we have a second for that motion?
I'll second that.
Okay, seconded by Trustee Elliott. We'll now take a vote on it. Those in favor, raise your hand.
Thank you.
Motion is carried, and that'll come up under correspondence.
Thank you.
Okay, let's get back to the adoption of the agenda. So could I have a motion to adopt the agenda as we just discussed?
A motion to accept, to adopt the agenda.
I'll second.
Second? Okay. Therefore, all in favor, raise your hands. Okay, the motion's carried and the agenda is adopted. Next, we move on to the approval of minutes. Under A, we have a motion. I'm going to ask for a motion to adopt the meeting minutes from March 16, 2017, the regular board meeting, as presented.
Call for a motion to accept those minutes of March 16th.
A motion by Trustee Lawson to accept the minutes as laid out here the minutes for, to adopt the minutes from the March 16, 2017. Could I have a seconder for that? Seconded by Trustee Callender. All those in favor, raise your hand. Okay, motion's carried. The minutes are for March 16, 2017 are adopted as presented. The next approval of minutes, we're still on that, B. We have a motion, I gather, from Trustee Callender to adopt the meeting minutes from December 14th, 2016. This is in the form of a written amendment submitted by Trustee Callender to the December 14, 2016 minutes. Would you care to read that out?
Yeah, we've been waiting quite a long time to have those minutes approved, and I see that my name has been added to the minutes. Thank you very much. And also that the It has been followed through by the board, although not formally announced, to post the 2 letters as it was promised. So thank you again to the board for doing that. With regards to, so I'm not asking to change anything in the December 14th minutes. My previous motion, which was similar to this, was to substitute the transcript for the paragraph that was written summarizing the exchange. So this time, I'm not asking to remove the summary as written in the December 14th minutes. I'm simply asking that the transcript, which is essentially an exchange between the chair and myself, with a comment by Trustee Bitton, for that simply to be added to the minutes. And my reason for doing that is a result of the training that we had, the board training, where it was emphasized that accuracy and transparency for the landowners, because the minutes form the record by which decisions are undertaken by the board. And it's really the formal recording of why we do the things that we do. So it's really in the interest of accuracy and transparency. And so that's reason number 1. And reason number 2, and a transcript, of course, is not a subjective opinion about what occurred or what didn't occur. It's simply a transcript of what was stated, without any subjective opinion about it. Then the second reason for including the transcript is because it has come to my attention that there have been several formal complaints made about that conversation, exchange between the chair and myself, as well as the abrupt adjournment of that meeting in December. For those of you who were there, you'll remember that quite clearly. It was a unusual circumstance. So those are the 2 reasons why I think it is in the best interest of actually the chair and myself that our words speak for ourselves. You know, we have to stand by our words. And right or wrong, or good or bad, they are what they are. So that's really all I want to say about the matter. It's again, it leaves in place the summary that was written by our previous administrator, so that's not changed, it's still there. It's just adding the transcript. Thank you.
Do I have a seconder to that motion? Basically asking that copies of a transcript submitted by Trustee Kelcher be added to those minutes.
I'll second that.
Okay, seconded by Trustee Elliott. Okay, we're now open for discussion on this matter. So, Trustee Kelcher, I believe you pretty much stated your case there. So we'll start with Trustee Oxen.
Well, I'd like to see your name was added, and I don't think
I'd like him to use that, please, so that you can hear.
Yeah, I can't.
Everybody else can hear.
Can we hear now?
I can hear now.
Thanks.
No, we don't need the microphone.
Well, I can't hear.
I can't hear.
Okay, okay. There you go. Turn it up, turn it up.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'd like to see the minutes. That was a very unusual meeting, and I'd like to see myself, just the minutes, your name added, Trustee Kelcher, and the minutes as read, or as put out by the administrator. This back and forth thing and the videotaping I have an issue with. So I would just like to see the minutes myself put in there as read, as administrator adopted, as he wrote them. Because I think we have another issue here, and there was another meeting afterwards, and so I wasn't too impressed with the whole thing afterwards either. So there's other issues here besides adding this thing back and forth here, and I just think we should change it to have your name added, and also just the minutes that was that the administrator wrote. So that's how I feel.
Yeah, in the spirit of moving forward, I think we really should include these. It was a very unusual meeting. There was a lot of things going on at that meeting. We were a fairly new board at that point in time. I think it's imperative that our minutes accurately reflect what went on at the meeting. And I think by adding the transcript, there can be no question in anybody's mind as to what occurred, and that's why I firmly believe that videotaping of these meetings is imperative, so that it's the actual recording of what took place. Because sometimes in the heat of the moment, people forget what was said or what was not said, and I think we're going to be having this discussion a little bit later on, so I don't want to say too much more on that. But it's really important that we find ways to move forward, and if we can add this transcript and that helps to clear up some misconceptions that may be out there, then so much the better.
Thank you, Trustee Elliott. Trustee Benton.
Yeah, so, you know, in our training, we did discuss this event, and, you know, kind of what I got out of it is, you know, let's learn from what happened and move forward, you know, and try and prevent this incident from happening again. That's how I see it. You know, that meeting, you know, looking back on it, it's a reflection on all of us. The meeting it wasn't only the trustees that were out of order, possibly all of us, but it was also the audience. And, you know, having this defined statement here, I don't think it's going to change anything. All it's going to really do, in my opinion, is allow people to constantly send letters in about what somebody said or what he said or she said. I don't think we need to be doing that now. We've got a lot of stuff to do. We've got to move forward. We need to look back on this event. We don't need to put it in any more light than it's been put in, and we need to think about how we avoid that from happening again and move forward. And I see no need to put this statement in there. The administrator, we accepted his writing on everything else in our minutes. So this one event, it's actually something we should just try and move away from.
Thank you, Trustee Benton. I'm going to take the unusual step, I suppose, of weighing in on this matter as well. I don't have any problem with what was said in this edition. However, the problem that we do have is one of procedure here. And the minutes of these meetings are supposed to be a synopsis, not a verbatim report. Also, since this is a meeting of the board, the minutes are composed by the administrator. And in this case, that was done by Mr. Duval. Now, it was a summary of what took place. I feel that to accept this additional verbatim exchange that is unofficial, we put ourselves in a precedence that really could lead to a dangerous situation insofar as procedure is concerned. So that's how I feel about the issue. I feel it was rightly or wrongly composed by Mr. Duval, who was the administrator at the time. These minutes will continue to be composed by the administrator. There will be and is a recording of these minutes in any event. Therefore, I just don't see where there's any machinery in place to accept this verbatim exchange. That's my feeling on the matter. But however, we will take a, Trustee Kelly, you wish to say something? Okay.
Just before you take a vote, I wish to add that the Ombudsman's office is looking into the exchange. So it's really, the transcript is the transcript of what occurred and what was stated. It's not a summary, it's not a subjective opinion. It is a transcript verbatim of what occurred. And I believe it is in the best interest of all of us, including for the benefit of the landowners, that we accurately transcribe what occurred in that extremely unusual situation. And I certainly concur with everyone that we were a new board, and I would like to think that that will not occur again, because we've learned and grown. However, the fact is it did occur. So I just want to be very clear that that's the reason why there's nothing illegal about having a verbatim transcript included. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Kelly. This will now put us in a position to take a vote. Has everybody had their say? So we'll now take a vote on the matter. Those are in favor of accepting this verbatim transcript to form part of the minutes, raise your hands. Okay, those not in favor of accepting this verbatim exchange to form part of the transcript, raise your hands.
Part of the minutes, not the transcript.
Yeah.
Sorry, part of the minutes, yes.
Get it right.
Mr. Chair, there's somebody in the audience that's speaking. I would like you to address that.
I apologize, sir. I was talking to my neighbor.
Okay.
Too loud.
Mr. Chair, you need to address the...
Thank you, sir. If you just leave things out. Therefore, I'm going to vote against accepting this verbatim exchange for the reasons that I just gave earlier. Therefore, the motion is not carried. And that will conclude that part of the minutes. Now, the next...
I would like the vote recorded, please.
The vote is being recorded.
Well,
Trustee
no.
Kelly.
Yes, the vote is recorded, but it isn't usually recorded who votes in which way. But
Very well.
I'm requesting that it be recorded on this motion. Thank you.
Yeah.
You got that?
Do we need a motion, Mr. Chair? Do we need a motion on that special request?
No, not on that request. The next order of business is I would ask the board for a motion to adopt the minutes of December the 14th, 2016 as presented by Administrator Kevin Duval with the amendment that Trustee Kelcher's name be added to the roster. I believe that has already been done, but if it hasn't been done, then make it so. Could I have a motion from someone from the board to adopt the minutes as presented by Administrator Duval?
I'll make a motion to do so.
Do I have a second?
I second it.
Okay. I believe we've had enough discussion on the matter, so we'll just carry this as a vote. Those in favor of accepting the minutes as composed by Administrator Duval for the December 14th, 2016 meeting, please raise your hands. Those not are opposed to accepting the minutes as composed by Trustee Administrator Duval for the December 14, 2016 minutes. Please raise your hand. So we have a tie vote again, and I will vote to accept those meeting minutes as composed by Administrator Duval.
And again, I'm requesting that the votes be recorded.
You have that? Thank you. Thank you, Mr. G. Okay, next we go on to item 4, business arising from regular or in-camera board meeting minutes and reports. I believe that you're going to address that, Mr. G.
Our minutes or reports, what's that?
Okay. Thank you for that. We now move on to the reports. I believe we'll touch on this.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand what you said.
Pertaining minutes or reports for business arising?
I can't hear you, thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to reports, and this. Okay, this is the chair report. It's actually the landowner update that you have received in your bills, probably today or maybe tomorrow. I know that they've been mailed out. I must apologize for the update. The previous board had a real nice letterhead drawn up to put the landowner's update on. For some reason, we never got to it this time, but we will get to it the next time. Also, some of the verbiage here is a little different. I'm not going to go through this because we will be touching on it again, and you will have this as a handout in any event with your water bill. But I would like to point out that on the under the heading Water Infrastructure Agreement, there's a line there that says, we do not anticipate that we will not have to raise parcel taxes. That's a double negative, right? And I think what we were trying to say there is we do not anticipate that we will have to raise parcel taxes in order to complete this project, and the loan required should be on a very short-term basis.
It's not in there. It's,
This is the May 17th update that's in our minutes. You're talking about the AGM update, I believe?
No, I'm talking about the May 17th.
Well, then it's not in your report.
Okay, well, you will have this, I'm sorry. Yeah, you will have this in your water bill. Yeah, no, you wouldn't, you probably won't have it here tonight.
No, we're missing, I just got my water bill, and it doesn't include.
I don't think it was in there. I didn't open it, but
I did,
didn't see
yeah,
it.
it was, is not in there. What's in there is what's in here,
Correct.
just the one page. If you look in your package, that's what is in our water bill. And it doesn't have a second page. It's right after the minutes that we just.
I'll have to send another bill then.
Oh,
It does have a second page there?
so we don't have a second
Okay,
page here. Or maybe I'm the only one that doesn't have it.
no, I only have one page too.
Not the one in the agenda, but the one that came from water bill.
There is, it's printed on both sides, I believe, yeah. However, this one here is not printed on both sides. Okay, we'll have to make an attempt to correct that. I'm very sorry about the confusion. It's been a very busy month, and we clearly have some work to do on this landowner's update. So we'll move on from there. Next, we get to the administrator's report. Mr. G.
Apologies for not having the 12 pages of the chair's report. That's the office.